So for the longest time, I just felt like crap when I was waking up in the morning. This is kind of what started the whole journey for me. And I would not have any motivation. My whole body just felt like crap and I was tired. The other thing that I had been experiencing for quite some time was like just super bad nutrition. I was having fast food all the time. I was eating Starburst for breakfast. And then I would always find that I was super hungry. So I had heard Tanessa on a business podcast one day, and I thought, oh my gosh, she has like so many great ideas. And I just felt so energized when listening to it. I was like, okay, I got to go follow her, see what's happening. And then learned kind of what she did. So she did biohacking, but not in a weird way. Like it was totally realistic, everything that she was doing. So I thought, oh, this is really great. And so one day I woke up and I thought, I can't do this anymore. I had blood sugar spikes all the time and it just didn't feel good. Like my whole body was just blah. So I started working with Tanessa for my nutrition. And we went through a plan on what I was experiencing currently and then also where I wanted to be. So my goal was to, by rule, eat really healthy and have whole foods. That, and then just the exception, like if I needed to have a birthday cake, that's fine. I didn't want to have the kind of lifestyle where I was completely stuck to something that I wasn't going to be happy with. So she would work with me and come up with ideas of things that would work with my day-to-day life, which is really what I loved about her coaching style, because she worked with me. She didn't work at me or tell me what I was supposed to do or what she was doing should be working for me. She just laid out all of the pieces and I got to choose what would work best for me and what those effects would be basically too. So that really made a huge difference. My biggest takeaway from the nutrition part was just how to eat basically and how to stay full for breakfast to lunch to dinner. So I wasn't thinking about food all the time. I used to make it super, super hard on myself, I think, for prepping. I always kept thinking I needed to go to the grocery store. I needed to get the list. I need to make all the foods. I needed to do all of this in one day. And she came up with a plan that made it easier for me. And it was just mind blowing, quite frankly, because it seemed like such a simple idea, but I never saw it. So it was really helpful to have her perspective on the why, like what was causing me not to be able to do the prep. So I started, for example, eating smoothies every morning. And I've always wanted to do that because I thought they were the simple way to do breakfast. I didn't have to take the time to make the eggs and whatever, all that kind of stuff. So I would just make the smoothie. And I finally got a recipe that was to feel full. And I think part of my challenge was knowing what was out there. And that was the great thing about working with Tanessa, because she just brought all the facts to me. I didn't have to go try and learn all the things. It was just presented and that's where it was. So it made it super simple to say, okay, well, here's the smoothie. And then here's what you can do for lunch. And here's what you can do for dinner, kind of thing. So that was my biggest takeaway, was my smoothie morning. It's been wonderful and super helpful because I don't have to think about anything in the morning. So like, I don't have that decision fatigue, for example. So that was my biggest takeaway. If you're hesitant to work with Tanessa, I would highly suggest jumping into one of her like mini programs. That's how I started. And I think it was really helpful to see how she worked, because sometimes you just don't know how coaches are going to be. And I've always been a little bit burned by some coaches because they're always shoving their crap at you and making you do what they think is right. And having that mini program to see how, which was the nutrition program, to see how Tanessa worked, really helped me to get to know her and her to get to know me, which I think is a really crucial piece of working with somebody. And then, so once we did the nutrition plan, I then went further into the sleep program. I'm sure that's not what it's called, but learning how to optimize my sleep. So the funny thing is I always felt like I had great sleep. Even though I woke up tired and felt like crap, I felt like my sleep part was pretty good. Like I felt like I never really woke up a whole time. There's some like little things that, yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night, but it felt like it was a good sleep. And I didn't know what I didn't know. So things that she would bring up, and we tried things, week by week, which is really great. I just saw that those little things and even added up really made a difference. So my deep sleep was pretty crappy when we first started working together. And then after the few weeks, I started noticing the difference and I started getting better deep sleep, which was really great. And what that actually did, like, so all of these pieces that came together, where it was mostly notable is my I didn't have to eat all day long, which was really great. So I didn't have to focus or worry about where my food was coming from. And then also, I didn't have to take naps in the afternoon on a regular basis. I just felt like I could get through the entire day without feeling so drained at the end of the day, which was a complete, I guess maybe not a total surprise, because I did expect the optimizations to, provide some difference. But it was a nice feeling. I didn't feel like I was just wiped at the end of the day. The other thing that I saw that happened was, with all of this, the nutrition and the getting the better sleep, my runs have been so much better. So it used to be that the first couple miles would just be like dragging. Like, it was so hard to get out the door. It was so hard to get warmed up. And I always thought that it was like, oh, it's just the first 2 miles. It's always going to feel like crap. Turns out it doesn't. So my runs have been, significantly better. And I have to thank Tanessa for that, because of the nutrition, the biohacking, all of the optimizations to optimize my sleep. Besides just overall better general health, like feeling wise, and being able to work on my business more throughout the day, my runs got better. So like all of those things combined, I just can't even say enough good things. So if you can work with Tanessa, it would be great. Just start with a smaller program and then get into the larger one, because you're going to want to, because you're just going to love her. And there you go. Thank you so much, Tanessa, for everything. I really appreciate you.